Welcome to MSPTDA video number 22. Yes, Microsoft Power Tools for data analysis. And like last video, we're going to learn how to do some data modeling. But in this video, we're going to use DAX instead of Power Query. And our topic is how to create date and, very importantly, a time dimension table to analyze server downtime. Now, we're starting off with a CSV file we have to import, and there are lots of machines. And very importantly, we have a date time marker that says when this event occurred, what the duration is, and the reason. We're going to use Power BI Desktop because we want an amazing interactive visualization like this. This is July 2018, and I simply want to hover and see the total downtime for each one of the server computers. Also, if I click on July 2018, I want the reasons and the sum of downtime to appear. And over here, we have a word cloud that shows us that the word changeover and atom have the largest summation of downtime. If I select an individual server, I want to see the counts and the name of the machine. From below the video, I've downloaded this start file, also downloaded the CSV file. We'll start out by going to Get Data, Text CSV. There's the file that we downloaded. Double click. The delimiter is comma. Click the Edit button. I'm naming this F Downtime. It has the source, promoted headers, and change type. We want to select Machine, Date Time, Duration. Holding Control the whole time. Now I'm going to click Reason Text. Right click. Remove Other Columns. Select Date Time. We're going to add column because we need to extract an hour. So Add Column has a great built-in feature from Date and Time. Drop down for time. And I want hour. There's our hour. I'm going to change the name. Double click. We're going to call this hour ID and enter. Select date time, and instead of add column, we're going to transform. This will transform the column, not adding a new column. We want date only. Now, we don't have any other data sets to add later, but that file might update, and I want to filter. Also, last video, I made a slight error in what the upper limit is if I want to get just data for certain years. So let's do it correctly this time. Select the drop-down, Date Filters, Between, and we want data from 16 all the way to 19. So is after or equal to 1/1/2016. So all the way from 1/1/2016 with no time and everything above. And then the upper limit will say is before the first day in the next year we don't want, 1/1/2020. Now, last video I did is before or equal to and did the last day in the year. And that missed all of the time values for the last day in the year. But this way, we'll get exactly what we want. All the records for 16, 17, 18, and 19. Click OK, and the applied step filters to get just the records we want. Now, this is our fact table, and from this fact table, we'll extract data to create our date and time dimension tables. Now, I go up to Home. Close, closes the Power Query editor. Apply, applies the Power Query steps and loads it to the data model. Click Close and Apply. Over here in Data or Table View, I can see it's been loaded. In Relationships, I have just one table. Now, I want to go back over to Table View, over to Modeling. And the first dimension table we're going to create is the date table. So I'm going to click New Table. This is awesome. This isn't over in Excel, but over here we can create a DAX created table and load it to the data model. This will be date equals and then calendar. We need a start date and an end date. We're going to have to get that information from the date column in the fact table. We're going to create the date for start date using the date function. Then we need to get the year of the min date, FD for downtime. There's our date time. I actually want to change that to date ID, but no problem. We'll use it here, go back and change it, and everything will update. That will get close parentheses, the correct year for the minimum date, comma 1, comma 1. That'll work for month and day, close parentheses. Now if I copy this whole thing, Control-C, click at the end, comma, Control-V, I just need to change in to X. And then month 1 to 12, day 1 to 31. And now when I hit Enter, I get the correct list of every single day between the min and max, including making sure that it goes to the first of the year and the end of the year, which is required for a date dimension table if you're going to use any of the time intelligence functions. That DAX formula delivered a table to the data model. Now we can attach columns. New column. We'll name it month number equal sign. There's the function month. And we need to look at down arrow the date column. Close parentheses and enter. New column. And to get from a date to a formatted version of that date, we can use the format function. DD, there it is, the date tab, comma, and we have to know custom number formatting in double quotes, MMM. That means please show me the month, 3-letter abbreviation. End double quote, close parentheses, and enter. Now, as we've seen numerous times through this class, if I use this attribute column in a report, this will sort alphabetically. So no problem. We come up and say, please sort month by month number. And in fact, the month number column is not an attribute column that we drag and drop into visuals. It's a helper column to help sort this column. I can right-click, hide, and report view. Part of data modeling is including only the columns we need in the reporting area. New column. And we will create a column for year and enter. I also want to create a column for day. So I come up to new column. And we're going to use the format on the date column, comma, in double quotes. I want to show MM. That's a number with a leading 0, slash DD. That's the day with a leading 0. Comma, YYYY, and double quotes. And actually, I'm going to change this. I want to see the day name. So DDD, space. That way, I have a 3-letter day abbreviation. And enter. Now, I want to come back to the date column. This is showing date and time. I'm going to come up to formatting, actually to data type, and say this data type is date. The format, date time. And there's how I want to show it. Now, this column will not sort correctly either. All of the Sundays will be together, all the Mondays, and so on. And so I say, hey, sort that column by the date. And now when we drag this in any visualization, it will sort according to the date. Now, over in our line chart that we saw at the beginning, we won't have a hierarchy, but we'll drag year and then month and then day. But we also want hour. So now we need to create a time dimension table. This date table is completed. Now we come up to new table. And what in the world are we going to do for D time? Well, there's only 24 hours, and we want to start at 0 and go to 23. So we use the generate series function. Tab. The start value, 0. Comma, end value is 23, comma, and the increment is 1. Close parentheses and enter. I'm going to double click and call this hour ID and enter. Now that reminds me, I want to go back over to DDate. And this column right here, double click, and I'm going to call this date ID. We're going to use that to connect to the fact table. This is what we'll use as an attribute column for day. And over in D time, that is our ID column to connect to the fact table. Now I do want a label that will show 1 p.m., 2 p.m., and so on. And I'm going to make it easy on myself since creating a serial number time is easy enough. The serial number time for 12 a.m. is 0. The serial number time for 1 a.m. is 1 divided by 24. 2 is 2 divided by 24. New column. Serial time is equal to DT. There's our hour ID divided by 24 and enter. Of course, time in Excel and Power BI is expressed as a proportion of a 24-hour day. So those are all correct. Decimals to indicate the hour. New column. Hour equals the format, DT. There's our serial time, comma, in double quotes, HH space AM slash p.m. And double quotes, close parentheses, and enter. I don't know how this extra column got here. I must have clicked it twice. Right click, delete. If we wanted to list the full category, 12 a.m. to 1 a.m., we could do this formula. Hey, that's just 12 a.m. I join it using the ampersand in double quotes, and we'll say up to, and double quotes, join ampersand. And I'm going to cheat and copy, Control C, Control V, and guess what? I want this to be not 12 a.m., but 1 a.m. So what do I have to add when I'm dealing with time if I want 1 hour? Plus 1 divided by 24. Now when I hit Enter, I have a category. Now both of these will not sort correctly in a visualization. 1, 2 will end up right over here. So I need to tell this column to sort by either one of the others. And let's say Hour ID. Same with this one, Hour ID. Now we do not need serial time to show up. Right click, hide in report view. Right click, hide in report view. Now you would probably not have both of these columns, but for the time being, I'll leave them both there. So our time dimension table is completed. We used a table function, generate series. We added 1, 2, 3 DAX columns. Then we hid the columns that we don't want to show up in report view. Over here, we can see D time. Let's go look at D date. These are the 3 columns, year, month, and day, that we want to show up over in report view. I don't need date ID, so right click, hide in report view. Same thing here, dimension table. We used a table DAX function, and then we had various DAX calculated columns, and we hid the columns we don't want to show up in report view. Let's go look at F downtime. Now this table was created using Power Query, so I'm going to go back up because I want to change that name. Back up to Home, Edit Queries. We could have changed it in DAX, but I'm going to keep it simple since I did everything over here in the first place. Double click, and we'll call this Date ID and Enter. That adds a new step. Now I click Close and Apply. Anytime we need to come back and do something, we can go back and forth between Power Query and the data model using DAX. Close and Apply. Now, for downtime, we actually want to add a measure because we want a sum of the duration. So with F downtime selected, we go up to Modeling, New Measure, Total Downtime. And I'm going to indicate the unit since it's minutes. And that's going to equal to sum of FD. And there's our duration column. Tab, close parentheses, and Enter. We'll add comma. Make sure it's 0 decimal. Over here, we see our measure. Now, we need to hide some of these columns, but it's easier to do over in Relationship View. Hey, there's our fact table. I'm going to select that first column, hold Shift, select Hour ID, right-click, Hide in Report View. Now, Machine and Reason, we might pull these out into a dimension table. But for our purpose here, we're going to leave both of these columns here. We'll drag and drop these as attributes from the fact table. And there's our measure. Now, here's D date and D time. Hour ID, this is the one side. Over to the many side. There's our one-to-many relationship. Date ID, one-to-many relationship. Now, the cool thing about this model here is now in our visualization, if we want to have a day and then an hour, that day will flow over, filter that fact table down to just those days. And then with the fact table filtered from whatever attributes are taken from the date dimension table, we can pull hour, and that will further filter the fact table and give us our desired total downtime in minutes. Now, let's go create our visualization over in Report View. Now, the first thing we want is a line chart. Over here in Visualizations, I'll click Line Chart. We can resize it. We want our date attributes along the horizontal axis. So I come up to date, year, down to axis. Month below year, day below month. And then from D time, let's drag hour down below day. From F downtime, there's our measure down to values. Now, with a line chart like this, we want to learn about these drill down options in the upper right-hand corner when we have multiple items in the axis. This button allows us to go to the next level in the hierarchy. Now, we're showing year. So if I click go down to the next level, that shows me all of the Octobers for all of the years. If we go back up If we use this button instead, expand all down, one level in the hierarchy, click. Now I see October 2018, October 2017. The other amazing option is this, drill down. So if I select expand all down to the next level, with drill down on, when I select October 2018, that shows me all of the days in the next level down. If I hover over Friday, October 26th, now when I click, if drill down is on, now I see all of the hours for that day. I'm going to uncheck this and go up, up, and now click expand all down. We also have this amazing feature. That is called a tooltip. The legend items are shown with the total. Now the next thing we want to do is click in the white, and we want a matrix, and we want the reason. So we come from F downtime and reasons to rows. We can resize this. Click and drag. Sometimes it's hard to click and drag, but that white arrow, usually near the edge. Now we want total downtime in minutes. Now if I come up here and click on October 2018, there are all of the reasons and the total downtime for that month. Now if you click again, you could get an individual machine. Now that's hard to see, and I can't really tell up in the legend. So I actually want to, when we do that, have a card here that tells me what machine that is. Now in order to do that, we're going to create a new measure. So I click on Downtime, Modeling, New Measure. I'm going to call this Select Machine Equals. And there's a great DAX function called Selected Value. We need the column, FD. There's our machine, tab, comma. And then the alternative result, double quotes all, and double quotes close parentheses, and enter. In the white, I'm going to come up and select card, selected machine, check, and there it is. So now we can test this. Select October, and there it says all. Now we want to do something kind of wild here. We see there's lots of different reasons, and we can use what's called a word cloud that actually can look at this column and show the words with the largest summation of downtime with the biggest font. Now, I don't see word cloud up here, but this is amazing. There's all sorts of custom visuals we can import. Click the More button, Import from Marketplace. Wow, a bullet chart, a histogram. We know how to create histograms without that special chart, but there it is. I'm going to click Add, Import, click OK. And there it is, our custom visual. I'm going to click in the Y, select Word Cloud, check Reason. That goes to Category. And I want to measure the total downtime. That's our measure adding up the total minutes. And that is amazing. And guess what? I can unfilter this, and it's totally changing. Now, there are some repeats. You can see Adam, Adam, Adam. This may not be exactly what you want, but it definitely shows you what word is appearing the most according to total duration time. The combination together may be helpful. This tells us exactly change over Adam. That's the total downtime. So a little over 2 million for change over Adam, whereas up here just Adam is 13,000. But guess what? That Adam right there, if you hover, that gives you the total of all of the summations for every time Adam appears. So if you went through and added total downtime in minutes for each occurrence of Adam, that's the total right there. Now if I come up and filter this by October, or down to the individual machine, it is working. I'm going to click on 2018 twice, get back to all. Now I want to increase the font size here. There's my paintbrush. Down to title, font size 15, font color black. Come back over to May. Everything's updating. All right, in this video, we saw how to create some interactive visualizations. But our main goal in this video was creating our date table with DAX measures and also our time dimension table. All right, if you like that video, be sure to click that thumbs up, leave a comment, and subscribe, because there's always lots more videos to come from Excelisfun, including next video number 23. We'll see how to deal with two fact tables and how to merge them together using DAX and data modeling. All right, we'll see you next video.